It was a routine evening for Flight 723, a commercial airliner bound for a bustling airport. The passengers settled into their seats, oblivious to the unease bubbling beneath the surface. The weather was calm, the skies clear, but something felt off. The crew exchanged furtive glances, sensing a shift in the air. As the flight took off, everything seemed normal. The pilots went through their pre-flight checks, and the flight attendants greeted passengers with warm smiles. But as the hours passed, the familiar drone of the engines grew unsettling. The plane was losing altitude, but the pilots couldn't figure out why. "Ladies and gentlemen, we're experiencing some minor technical difficulties," the captain announced, his voice steady but with an undercurrent of tension. "We'll be circling the airport for a little while longer." Time stretched on. 30 minutes became an hour, then an hour and a half. Passengers exchanged worried glances, gripping their armrests as the plane continued its descent without landing. A child began to cry, and the flight attendants moved through the aisles, offering reassurances that felt increasingly hollow. Suddenly, the lights flickered, casting eerie shadows in the cabin. The plane shuddered, and the captain's voice crackled over the intercom, barely masking the urgency in his tone. "We're attempting to regain control. Please remain calm." But calm was slipping away. The cabin filled with a low hum, a sound that felt more like a warning than an assurance. Passengers pulled out their phones, desperately trying to connect, but there was no signal, no way to reach the outside world. The isolation weighed heavy, like a blanket of dread. As the plane continued to circle, something began to change. The horizon ahead warped and twisted. The city lights, once a beacon of safety, flickered ominously. Whispers filled the cabin, an unsettling chorus of half-heard conversations, as if the very walls of the plane were trying to communicate a truth they couldn't grasp. A flight attendant rushed past, her face pale. "Stay in your seat," she shouted, but her voice felt distant, muffled by the growing chaos around them. Then came the thud of violent jolt that sent passengers gasping. The plane's systems flickered. The engine sputtered. In that moment, a dark realization washed over everyone. They weren't just lost in the air. They were trapped in something much darker. Finally, the captain's voice broke through the fear. Brace for impact. The cabin erupted into screams. The plane spiraled, tearing through the clouds, plunging into an abyss of darkness. And then silence. When the dawn broke, the world seemed untouched, a serene landscape beneath a golden sun. The plane, however, was gone. Not a trace remained, no wreckage, no survivors, just the lingering echo of a flight that never landed. Months later, search teams scoured the area, only to find empty fields and whispering winds. The official report stated that Flight 723 had vanished without a trace, a mystery that gnawed at the edges of reality. And somewhere among the clouds, the passengers still waited adrift in an endless flight that would never find its way home.